Hi there, Leo. Thank you for joining me for your January 2014 monthly forecast. The month begins in potent fashion with a cluster of energy, a stellium, in the sign of Capricorn. There's also a new moon on the first day too, and this new moon is going to be embracing Mercury, which is talk and thought, the Sun, which is our innate potential, and also Pluto, which is about power and transformation. Get these four together, you're talking about a lot of vibrant energy. So as you enter this new year, what's in store for you? Well, I feel that there can be a tremendous desire on your part to make your life work that much more efficiently. This may sound profoundly unsexy, and I don't mean it to be. It's simply the way the planets are. But with Saturn in your fourth solar house still, it wouldn't be a surprise if you were improving or changing the way in which you physically live your life on an everyday basis, whether that's domestically or in terms of how you get to work, the type of work you do, and so forth. Because the sixth solar house is what Capricorn represents for you. And if those changes don't manifest themselves in January, they could do later this year, because this is essentially going to be a solar return for you. However, there is a little bit of a potential glitch in the astral works, because Mars has moved into a superb location for you, into Libra, and it's going to be here through till July, the end of July. And this is going to make you much more swift-footed when it comes to articulating your ideas. You can find yourself standing up for yourself a little bit better too. Although you project this grand aura, you can actually be, in some ways, a little bit vulnerable. You don't like to let any kind of side of you that you don't feel is really strong show too much out to other people. Well, you may be about to change that this year and be much more forthright, and that can be really refreshing, but it also can create a lot of opportunities for you, especially when it comes to your ideas and the way you communicate them. And remember, although you are a fixed fire sign, you do have enough from the influence of the Sun to be one of the leaders of the zodiac, even if you're not cardinal, which is part of the absolute leaders of the zodiac. But for you, it's more about an optional decision, because yes, you are lordly and grandly, so you will make your mind up. But I do feel you can use Mars tremendously well. The problem is it squares up to these planets, and this can create an awful lot of nervous tension this year if you try to do too much too quickly, especially in terms of reforming your situations. So whether it's diet, whether it's fitness, whether it is finding yourself a more fulfilling job, or it is getting the domestic order really ticking like a well-calibrated clock, it doesn't really matter. Don't try and do too much too quickly. You'll just burn yourself out. Life's for enjoying. It's not all about being super, super virtuous. However, there is more going on this month. And on the 8th of the month, there is a quarter moon. And this quarter moon, once more, in Aries, says to you, don't go too quick, because if you do, an issue that's been coming up with you for a long time on the back of Uranus square with Pluto will come up again in the following week, which is that you will become resentful if you find that the things you want to do for yourself are being challenged by the things that other people insist that you do for them. But if you're being overly kind, caring, or want to be in that role, then you can't really be resentful about it, can you? So just watch your commitments in week 2. Middle of the month, 16th, we then have a full moon. This full moon suggests a more psychological influence. If there is something around your health, physical, that's not working, is there an emotional dimension? In the Western world, we tend not to like looking at this stuff. And for a Leo, again, who likes to protect your privacy and not show any vulnerability, very hard to admit that you may have some weaknesses, but be honest. You may even find yourself talking to a trusted person with Jupiter in this location too, who can help to transform your entire outlook, and that could be very, very healthy for you. So do see the connection between mental and emotional as well as physical. Now on the 12th, a wonderful thing happens, because Mercury makes its way into the most exciting part of your horoscope for relationships. And this can mean that if there have been a few brittle words in the first 10 days or so of the month, this is an opportunity to get things on a more democratic and more even footing. It gets less personal if someone disagrees with you. You just take it that you can agree to disagree. And also Mercury forges a wonderful angle with Uranus. Unusual, daring people, people who push you a little bit, can be exciting and make your pulse race quicker too. The Sun's going to repeat the relationship with Uranus too. So a lot of excitement around relationships can happen this month if you can let go of that more conservative side of your nature and be a bit more risk-taking. However, Jupiter and Venus do go face-to-face again. It's a repeat of an earlier aspect due to Venus's retrograde in the second half of this month. And I think if you are thinking about the more spiritual side of life and you are trying to apply this to your work situation, it is important to be open, but you must be open to the right people. Don't just vent your feelings too much to the fore with people you don't really know. That's just a bit of a warning there, because Venus opposite Jupiter can make us almost a bit too trusting. And then the last week of the month, well, Venus goes alongside Pluto. Back to work again. Someone could be playing games, there can be machinations going on, and not all of them may be very noble. Just keep your wits about you when it comes to office or work-based politics. And then on the very last day, virtually, 30th, we have a fab new moon in Aquarius, great for relationships, and also Venus, the planet of relationships, ends a backward journey. So I do feel by the end of this month you will be clearer about quite a lot of things. And it's an exciting time for you to transform your life. Just take your time and go at the right pace. Wishing you a very happy 2014. Good luck and goodbye for now.